This story was sent to us by Marko from Rijeka. He says it all happened to his family and that even today, years later, he's still dealing with the effects of a haunted house. This true story comes from the heart of Gorski Kotar, from a village that hardly anyone talks about anymore. If you don't believe in demons, cults and curses, maybe this story will make you change your mind.
My grandfather Ante was a man with simple dreams and a desire for peace. He worked hard his whole life, saving every penny, hoping that one day he would find a place where he could finally rest and enjoy the fruits of his labor.
He bought a house deep in the Croatian countryside, hoping for peace and quiet, surrounded by the beauty of nature. He imagined days in the garden, books by the fireplace, and the calm he never found in the city. It was supposed to be his oasis, far from the noise and chaos of the world.
He didn't know he was buying a tomb, a place where the past doesn't rest, where shadows dance at the edge of your sight and the air is heavy with unspoken fear.
The villagers, old and wise, warned him about the Ferkovic family, a name whispered with a mix of fear and respect. They spoke of strange happenings, unexplained sounds, and a restlessness that soaked into the very ground where the house stood.
They warned about the darkness that clung to the property like a shroud, an evil presence that had taken root and refused to leave. The house gave off a feeling of sadness and despair, a silent witness to the tragedies that had happened inside its walls.
Grandpa, being a man of reason, called it all superstition, stories to scare children. He dismissed their fears as old wives' tales, until the truth began to show itself, slowly and sneakily, destroying his doubt until only a bare, terrifying reality remained.
This is a record of unexplained events, a trip into the unknown, a record of things that defy logic and reason, experiences that challenge the very fabric of reality.
Physical attacks, unseen forces hitting in the dark, leaving marks that no human hand could have made. The house had a will of its own, an evil plan to torment anyone who dared to step foot on its doorstep.
And the family, torn apart by the house's influence, their relationships breaking under the weight of its presence. Secrets rotted, grudges grew, and once unbreakable bonds turned to bitterness.
Every word is a piece of the puzzle, a fragment of a terrible truth, revealing a place soaked in evil, a center of dark energy that grows year by year. A place where the veil between worlds is thin, and the whispers of the cursed echo through the halls.
The house still stands, quiet and awake, patiently waiting for its next victim. A timeless keeper of its secrets, a monument to the darkness that lives within it.
I can never go back there. The memories are too fresh, the scars too deep. But I can never escape its hold. The house has woven itself into the very core of my being.
The walls always whisper, secrets and warnings carried by the wind. And I always listen, trying to figure out the meaning of those mysterious messages, forever haunted by the echoes of the past.
My name is Marko. I am the last one to face the house, the last of my family to carry the burden of its curse. I tried to run away, to bury the past and create a new future, but you can't escape what's in your blood, the darkness passed down through generations, a legacy of pain and suffering.
My father always said, his voice full of fear, that house isn't just wood and stone, it's alive, it breathes, it feels, and it's hungry. And it's always hungry.
He was right. The house ate my grandfather's hope, leaving him broken, haunted by the horrors he experienced.
My mother's mind, pushed to the edge of madness by its relentless torment.
And my brother's future, stolen dreams left lost in a sea of despair.
Now it calls to me in my dreams, its voice as cold as a whisper that promises both salvation and damnation. Some places soak up pain, fear and tragedy like a sponge, soaking up the suffering of everyone who lived and died there. They never let go. The echoes of the past ring in the present.
The house in Gorski Kotar, hidden among ancient forests and wrapped in mist, is one of those places, a storehouse of sadness and despair.
For decades it has held the family in its grip, its dark tentacles slowly squeezing hearts and minds.
A darkness passed down through generations, an unbroken chain of suffering that ties them to the house and its evil force.
This isn't just a ghost story about creaks in the night and ghostly figures. This is a curse, a powerful and ancient force that refuses to be broken, a darkness that threatens to swallow everything in its path. Mara was taken away. Her leaving was a sharp and sudden end to the life she knew. The promise of a new beginning, the dream they had carefully built, now lay in pieces. She never came back. The door that once meant hope now stood as an empty space, a constant reminder of what was lost. It was as if the house had swallowed her whole, leaving behind only echoes of her presence. The house had claimed its first victim. Its dark history, whispered in hushed tones by the villagers, was now becoming a scary truth for the family. The walls seemed to close in and the shadows grew deeper with each passing day. The darkness was just beginning. It crept into every part of their lives, poisoning their happiness and replacing it with a troubling fear. The beautiful countryside, once a source of comfort, now felt threatening and lonely.
That day, the dream died. The bright picture of their future, woven with hope and excitement, was now just torn threads, a painful reminder of what could have been.
Within a few months, Mara's mind fell apart. The sneaky presence inside the house ate away at her sanity, twisting her thoughts and blurring the line between what was real and what was a nightmare. She became a ghost in her own home, a shadowy figure haunting the same room she once filled with laughter and warmth. Her eyes, once bright with life, now had an empty, distant look. Scared, withdrawn, she pulled away from people, seeking shelter in the shadows, convinced that unseen eyes were constantly watching her, judging her. The turning point came when Ante found her, late one night in the kitchen, a sight that would stay with him forever, holding a knife, whispering, "She wants the children." Her voice was barely a whisper, just a breath of sound, but the words carried the weight of unimaginable horror.
I tried to comfort her, but her fear was real. It was a feeling you could touch, a chilling presence that filled the air around her. I felt it too, a creeping unease that settled deep in my bones.
I would wake up screaming, haunted by her presence. The nightmares were vivid and cruel, filled with shadowy figures and whispers that seemed to scratch at my mind. Sleep offered no escape, only a descent into deeper horror.
My mother, Mara, was the first to feel it. A subtle change in the air, an almost unnoticeable shift in the house's energy, a constant feeling of being watched, a disturbing sense that unseen eyes followed her every move, watching her from the shadows. Nightmares of a woman in black, a repeating figure in her dreams, a sign of fear. Her presence, a chilling warning of bad things to come.
I brushed it off as an old tale. I was wrong, terribly wrong. I didn't listen to the warnings, blinded by doubt and a naive belief in logic.
In 1974, my grandfather Ante, a man of strong will and deep love for his family, made a choice that would change their lives forever. He moved his family to Gorski Kotar, a region of amazing beauty nestled among rolling hills and thick forests, chasing a dream of peace, a safe place far from the busy city, a place where his family could grow and find happiness. The house felt heavy, weighed down by a history that was clear but unspoken, a burden that settled on their shoulders the moment they stepped inside. As if it was listening, soaking up their hopes and fears, its quiet presence a constant reminder that they were not alone. The villagers kept their distance, their eyes filled with a mix of pity and fear, and their silence spoke volumes about the dark secrets the house held. One warned, "The Ferkovich blood still stains that ground." A chilling prophecy, a grim reminder of the tragedy that happened within those walls, a curse that seemed destined to happen again.
Her secret is buried here, under the floorboards.
Ivana led him to a spot near the fireplace.
Show me where she's pointing.
The innocence had left her voice. Auntie's denial began to crack.
Grandma is mad. She said the blood wasn't enough. She wants more.
Weeks passed. The invisible grandma became a constant, unsettling presence. One day, Ivana was found crying.
Ivana said the old woman kept pointing at the floor, never speaking her name.
Grandma, she's sad. She's always cold, and she's looking for something in the walls.
Who are you talking to? I asked.
My Aunt Ivana was 6 years old when she found a new friend in the house. The truth, no matter how much Auntie tried to deny it, was clear. The unsettling feeling he'd had since moving in, the strange things happening, the kids' nightmares, it all pointed to one scary conclusion. The house was more than just haunted, with a ghost here and there or strange noises. It was ruined, made dirty by something old and evil. Its very foundations seemed to breathe dark energy. The evil wasn't just an echo from the past. It was alive, a real thing that filled every room, and it was hungry, feeding on the fear and sadness of those inside its walls. Auntie finally understood with a chilling certainty that his family was stuck in a nightmare far beyond what he could imagine. He had unknowingly led them into the heart of darkness, The curse, no matter where it came from, was just starting to show its true horror. The worst was yet to come, and Antti was afraid he couldn't stop it.
"What you found," the old priest said, his voice heavy with fear, "is a place of deep evil, a wound in the world that oozes darkness. Those symbols," he went on, pointing to the drawings Antti had made, "aren't just decorations. They're part of a dark ritual, a calling, a binding. That ground," the priest warned, his eyes full of fear, "is cursed, made dirty by unspeakable acts. It's an entrance, a path for something ancient and terrible. Cover it," the priest urged, his voice rising in desperation. "Take your children and leave this place. Run while you still can. No prayer, no blessing can cleanse a house built as a temple of darkness. It is beyond saving. A place where evil rules."
Scared by the priest's words, desperate for answers, I went to the village priest, hoping for some advice, some way to protect my family.
Driven by fear and a desperate need to understand where the evil came from, Antti, remembering Ivana's strange visions, lifted the floorboards in the old children's room where Ivana had pointed. Underneath the old wood, hidden for maybe centuries, he found a stone slab, cold and heavy. It covered a bricked-up well, a dark pit that let out a chilling draught. The air around the opening was awful, thick with the choking smell of old blood and rot, a smell that scratched at his throat. On the underside of the slab, hidden from casual view, were strange symbols carved deep into the stone, and a massive bloodstain, dark, clotted proof of some unspeakable act done long ago. The horror of what he had found started to sink in. Antti realized the well was an altar, and the symbols were a doorway. His wife's madness and his daughter's visions all made sense. The house wasn't just haunted. It was home to a demonic intelligence. The curse was real, and it was waiting for its next victim. The family's suffering was far from over.
The Ferkovic family built that house in the late 1800s, surrounded by rumors of dark rituals. Their leader, Groga, supposedly worshipped an ancient demon seeking blood sacrifices. Livestock went missing, and then a young girl disappeared, never found. The land was tainted, the bloodline cursed. The cult faded, but the evil remained.
My father remembered the footsteps, the weeping, and the shadowy woman by the fireplace. The presence was smart and it was mean. It fed on their fear. Things moved on their own. The air grew cold and whispers echoed from the basement. Antti, completely broken, ran away with his children, leaving the house behind. He never spoke of it again, but the shadow followed them in their memories. The curse wasn't just in the house, it marked the family. The darkness was patient. It would come back.
After they closed the well, the house became even more violent. He ended up in a facility. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, but we knew the truth. The house had taken him. The curse infected our bloodline, seeking the vulnerable. My grandmother's mind, my brother's mind, both lost. My father feared who would be next. The house was never done with us.
My brother was drawn to the house. He was obsessed with its darkness. He came back changed, haunted, paranoid, talking about a master beneath the house. One night he was found chanting over occult symbols, bleeding, claiming, "She is pleased. Blood opens the way."
The curse followed us.
I didn't believe in curses. I went to the house, determined to prove it was just a story. The moment I arrived, I felt a pressure, a coldness. Inside, I found Ivana's diary, drawings of a dark figure. She's in the wall. I spent the night above the hidden well. When darkness fell, footsteps and whispers filled the house. I dreamed of a woman with empty eyes scratching my chest, whispering, "You are mine. Blood calls blood." I woke up bleeding, with 3 red scratches on my chest. My skepticism shattered. I fled, leaving the house behind. The evil was real.
When Antti died, my father inherited the house, but refused to go near it. The task fell to me.
More than 25 years have passed, but the house never left me. I never sold it. Who could I wish such a fate upon? The nightmares never stopped. The woman with empty eyes always pointing her finger at me. I sought help, but no one can break a curse written in blood. Every unexplained sound, every shadow reminds me of that place. The curse took my grandmother, my brother, and haunted my father. Now I am the last one. This story has no end. Evil is patient, still waiting. Blood calls blood. I say this as a warning. Some doors should never be opened. Some stories aren't over yet. Mine might have just begun.
For more videos like this, follow us.